Our spoiled indoor-only cats are not hunting and climbing, so they are going to need regular nail care. And those outside activities that they're not doing anymore, they would have effectively worn a cat's nails down so they don't pose a problem. In this video, I'm going to chat about nail trimming strategies so you have the best chance of success at trimming your cat's nails at home. I'm also going to chat about some common issues that can affect a cat's nails, like ingrown nails, that black gunk that can accumulate around the nail, cutaneous horns, older cat's nails, which cat clippers I prefer, and what to do if you accidentally cut a cat's quick. I'm Dr. Oz, cat veterinarian since 2004. Everyone always asks, how often should I trim my cat's nails? And even though the answer may depend on your individual cat, most cats benefit from regular nail trimmings every 2 to 4 weeks. I am not going to chat about how to trim your cat's nails in this video. There are a ton of how-to videos out there. What I would like to focus on are strategic tips around planning, getting organized, and expecting the unexpected, so that you can increase your chances and likelihood you'll be able to trim your cat's nails at home and set yourself up for long-term success. Before you dive right in and start trimming your cat's nails, acclimate them a little bit. Get in the habit of touching their paws and toes many times a day throughout the day. This will help get them used to the idea of having their toes touched when it comes time to actually trim their nails. Also push down on the top of the toes so the nail is exposed, which you'll need to do to trim their nails. Location is important. Choose a quiet, relaxing spot in your home. Try to avoid rooms your cat usually doesn't spend too much time in. Trim your cat's nails without any distractions, like kids or a running washing machine, and do so when your cat is calm, not in the middle of a Zoomy session. I like to have nail clippers out at other times for my cats to explore. One trick I use if I want my cats to become used to something, I put it next to their food dish so they start to create warm and fuzzy feelings towards it. If you only bring out the nail clippers when you want to trim your cat's nails, and they don't like it, and they have negative feelings associated with them, it's going to be much harder to trim their nails in the future. Start with the kitten months and trim their nails once a week, which is a bit more frequent than is needed, but the goal here is to get you used to the idea of trimming your cat's nails and your cat used to the idea of having their nails trimmed. If you adopt an older cat, the same logic applies. Trim their nails more frequently than is needed so everyone gets comfortable with the idea. Before you even attempt to trim your cat's nails, make sure you have everything ready and within reach. Many of us only have one chance to do this, and if you have to go into another room to get something, that window of opportunity just closed and you'll need to wait for another time. Start off slow and gradual. The ultimate goal is to get you comfortable with the idea and act of nail trimming, as well as your cat. I want you to approach this with confidence and a positive attitude. If you go in with a little anxiety or uncertainness, your cat's going to pick up on it and you're going to have a harder time trimming their nails. Start by just cutting off the tips and do so frequently, like every 1 to 2 weeks, so you get used to it and your cat gets used to it. Once you get a little bit more confident, you can start taking off more and doing so less frequently. Just stay away from the quick, the pink part of the nail, which almost looks like a nail within a nail. If your cat is just not having it, stop, try again later or on another day. Forcing a nail trim on your cat that is just not in the mood will only make it harder next time. Taking breaks in between nails may make the process a little bit easier. I do live in the real world and know some cats are quite resistant to nail trims. For these special kitties, some cat parents do 1 paw a week, and by the end of the month they've trimmed all their cat's nails. And this may look something like the right front paw for the first week of the month, the left front paw for the second week of the month, and so on. Every cat is different. The key? Be creative and find what works for you and your cat. And stay positive. Yes, this can be frustrating, and if they would just sit still for 1 second, we would be done. Yelling and scolding will not set you up for future success, which is our goal here. Sometimes taking a break in between toes is not for your cat, but for you, which is totally fine. And don't forget about treats. This is one of my exceptions when it comes to giving treats to cats. We give a treat for good behavior, not just for looking cute. So make sure you have a tasty treat. I'm a fan of Cheerios, ready and within reach to give as needed during the nail trim and right after. And don't forget to treat yourself. You did such a good job and you stayed positive through the entire ordeal. And be resourceful and creative. Have extra hands to assist. Have a towel nearby just in case your cat needs a burrito. And once you find what works for you and your cat, stick with it and be consistent. And when in doubt, have a professional trim your cat's nails. Most clinics and hospitals provide this service. Now let's chat about some things you may notice when you are trimming your cat's nails. The reason why I'm chatting about trimming your cat's nails is because if you don't, they will continue to grow around back into your cat's paws. And the most common nail to do this, in my experience, is a cat's dew claw. Essentially, your cat's thumbs. The best way to remember to trim those dew claws is to count. For most cats, you're going to be trimming 5 nails on each front paw, including the dew claw, and 4 nails on each back paw. Polydactyl cats will obviously have more nails to trim, and your vet will let you know how many nails you have to trim for each paw. Some symptoms you may notice: if your cat has an ingrown nail, you might hear a clicking sound when they walk, limping, holding up a paw, biting or chewing one paw, or possibly blood spots on the floor. Some of these cats avoid the litter box. If you take a closer look, you may see swelling, redness, or pus. These nails are generally thicker than other nails on the paw, and you don't see a sharp tip. As you can imagine, these are painful and oftentimes have a secondary infection. In a veterinary setting, this is generally a quick fix. This is not something you should try to fix at home. We often prescribe antibiotics to help keep the wound clean, since cats walk on it and are using the litter box until the wound has healed. I often prescribe anti-inflammatories for pain and to help them heal faster. Regular nail trims is the best prevention. If you are owned by a Sphinx cat, you're already aware about the black gunk that can accumulate on the nail. It can happen to any cat, as oils, dirt, and debris start to accumulate on the nail base next to the skin. In most cases, it's easy to remove with warm water on a washcloth or by picking it off with your fingernail. Some have even used a soft bristled toothbrush or a Q-tip to remove it. If your cat is prone to it, you'll want to keep an eye out and clean it when it is mild. If it is allowed to build up, the skin right next to the nail bed can become red and inflamed, and that's when I start to worry we may have a secondary bacterial or yeast infection. Is it a nail? Is it not a nail? What is it? If you've ever seen a hard growth that looks like a claw or horn coming from a cat's paw pad or its skin, that's a cutaneous horn, and it's made of keratin, the same stuff as a cat's nail. An overgrowth of keratin is what causes a cutaneous horn to form, and this seems to happen randomly. These are generally pretty benign. However, if they do grow too long, they may cause discomfort when your cat walks. It is generally recommended, if you see them, to cut them back just like you would cut a cat's nail. If you don't feel comfortable doing so, have a professional cut them for you. Rarely, cutaneous horns may indicate an underlying medical issue, like feline leukemia, papillomavirus, or a cancer known as squamous cell carcinoma. Or they simply may cause your cat pain and discomfort when they walk. In these rare instances, a biopsy or surgical removal of the cutaneous horns may be recommended, and these procedures will be discussed with your veterinarian if needed. As a cat ages, they don't groom as much, they don't sharpen their nails as often, and the outer sheath of the nail is shed less. What results is a thicker nail that is harder to see the quick. As you start to trim these older cat nails, they start to peel like an onion. The trick? Start at the tip, peel away the outer layers, and repeat. Eventually, the location of the quick becomes apparent, and the nail starts to look like a regular nail. If you start noticing this happening to your cat's nails, you might want to get into the habit of trimming your cat's nails more often, like every 1 to 2 weeks. You might also want to consider some medical issues like arthritis. For more information, check out my Arthritis in Cats video. Everyone asks, what are the best nail clippers to use on a cat? And the answer is, whichever nail clippers your cat will let you use on them. Having said that, I typically choose a scissor type clipper because it is fast and provides a quick, sharp cut. I tend to avoid bulky or noisy nail clippers. If you ever notice that the nail clippers are putting too much pressure on your cat's nails, the nails look frayed after making a cut, or your cat is simply fighting you with each and every nail, it might be time for a change. Whichever nail clipper you choose, the goal is to make sure you are comfortable using them and your cat doesn't mind them too much. Most of you are already aware that when you are trimming your cat's nails, stay away from the quick, that red or pink area of the nail, which can be difficult in a moving, awake cat. If you cut the quick, it will bleed and it is painful. This happens even to us experienced professionals. Don't panic, stay calm and focused. I use Quick Stop, a yellow powder you put directly on the bleeding part of the nail, and you can find this product online. This works best if you can apply some pressure to the nail to slow or stop the bleeding before applying the Quick Stop. And once you apply the powder, hold it there for a few seconds. You may have to reapply more powder to get the bleeding to stop completely. Once it's applied correctly, it works pretty quickly. Some use cornstarch or flour. In any case, you should have these ready and within reach before you start the nail trim. If you have any concerns after cutting your cat's quick, make an appointment with your vet. There are many more things that can happen to a cat's nails, like a bacterial infection, fungal infection, fractures, immune-mediated diseases, and even cancer. And when you see and smell them, they can be pretty dramatic and treatment can be complex. So for anything unusual with your cat's nails, make an appointment with your vet. At the end of the day, being consistent is key for stress-free nail trims in the home. And treats. Lots and lots of treats. If you learned something, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. For more information on cat topics, check out my YouTube channel, Cat Chat with Dr. Osk. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.